What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video, and in this one, we're going to be talking about how PFF gave each and every single 32 NFL teams one name, one free agent that is set to hit the open market in March that each team should go out and pursue. And in this one, we're going to be talking about who that player is for the New England Patriots, what's the likelihood that New England targets them, and why is this the one player that PFF said the Patriots should target. Before this one starts, please make sure you guys leave a big like on this video, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news, for all of the free agency, draft, and just off-season videos that we are going to be making here, and leave a comment in the comment section below on how you feel about this player. Now, the one player that PFF said the Patriots should target in the upcoming free agency period for 2022 is cornerback Patrick Peterson. Now, this move isn't to say that the Patriots should not go out and still try to re-sign J.C. Jackson. If Patrick Peterson does get signed by the Patriots, or this guy is someone that Belichick does decide to pursue, he's not, to me, a cornerback one anymore. Now, Patrick Peterson was a former first-round selection, 5th overall, and was an all-pro cornerback at one time. A couple of years ago, if you guys are actually OGs of this channel, we talked about the New England Patriots being interested in trading for Patrick Peterson while he was with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, obviously, Patrick Peterson is not the same all-pro cornerback that he once was, as he is set to hit 32 years old this offseason. But New England definitely needs insurance policies in their secondary, more specifically at the cornerback position. And they have guys who can play within the slot. You guys have you have guys like Miles Bryant, you have guys like D'Angelo Ross, Jonathan Jones, who will be returning, but you really need depth at outside cornerback, especially with Juwan Williams likely being let go this offseason. While Peterson isn't a guy, like I said earlier, that I would be comfortable making a number one cornerback in this system, I think that he would still be a very, very, very good number two reliable option for this team. Now, last year in the offseason, Peterson went and signed a one-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings, and it wasn't exactly a success for Patrick Peterson. Now, he was still able to go ahead and record 884 snaps, but did earn a 61 overall coverage grade, which was the second lowest of his career besides his rookie season. When he signed with the Vikings, he said a big part on why the Vikings really attracted him was because Vikings head coach at the time, Mike Zimmer, had a really good track record of making older players, guys who have, air quote, fallen off, helped get them back on track and helped them to start succeeding more. Who's someone that is able to get players back on track? Who's able to get older players who have fallen off back on track? Bill Belichick. And I really do believe that at this point in Patrick Peterson's career, and based off of how he's played the last couple of seasons, if there's anywhere that he's going to go to revitalize his career, it's going to be with New England. If I was Belichick and I do go ahead and I look at Patrick Peterson in the offseason, what I'm doing is I'm giving him a one-year prove-it deal. With that being said, I'm giving him a decent contract, nothing upwards of $10 million, but I would say maximum about $5 million. I don't think Patrick Peterson is really going to have much of a market, and make it very incentive-based. And if things end up not working out at the end of the offseason, you want to cut him, make that a possibility also. This signing for the Patriots needs to be a high risk or low risk, high reward. Patrick Peterson isn't one of those guys who only had 1 or 2 good years. He wasn't like Xavier Rhodes. This is one of the best defensive backs of our era that we are talking about here. Patrick Peterson would, at the very least, apply very good quality depth for New England, not just at corner, but also brings depth at safety also. And you look at the concerns with New England in their secondary, the majority of this does come at the cornerback position, but there is still question marks in the safety position also, and that's whether you bring back Devin McCourty or not. One of the biggest questions is going to be with J.C. Jackson. Can the Patriots get J.C. Jackson back or not? And like I said before, even if they get J.C. Jackson back, that is not going to be the end-all, be-all to your secondary. You still need to continue to make additions. But you also need a insurance policy behind J.C. Jackson in case he does leave in free agency, and a quality veteran option in Patrick Peterson might be one of the best ways for the Patriots to go, especially because I could see them wanting to get younger at the cornerback position, more specifically heading towards the draft and UDFAs. With that being said, having one of the best defensive backs in our era in Patrick Peterson, helping teach guys like Jalen Mills, helping teach younger guys like the UDFAs or new draft selections in the 2022 draft that the Patriots could pick up. And even guys currently in the building like D'Angelo Ross and Miles Bryant, learning behind a guy like Patrick Peterson could be very, very important to the development of these players. You look at his time with the Minnesota Vikings this past season, and a couple things stand out to me. Number one, they were using him really as their number one cornerback. They didn't have a lot of pieces in their secondary to be able to put around Patrick Peterson. And like I said, in an ideal situation, Patrick Peterson is not your number one cornerback. But second off, the Minnesota Vikings didn't have a great pass rush. Now, it's not to say that they had a terrible pass rush. It wasn't one of the worst in the league, but New England 100% and from a statistical standpoint does have a better pass rush. So in return, what that means is that it should benefit a guy like Patrick Peterson more with the New England Patriots than it did with the Minnesota Vikings. What you have to remember is that defensive backs, whether they're the best of our era, if they're the worst of our era, matter if they're in their 30s or in their 20s, if they're asked to cover a defender for 5 or more seconds, at some point that coverage is going to get let up. Versus if you have an excellent pass rush, your defense and your front is able to get to the quarterback, you're asking your defensive backs to cover for a lot less time, which is going to help their productivity. Now, even if the Patriots sign Patrick Peterson, they bring back J.C. Jackson, and they're still not comfortable with him being a number 2 option, or they really feel that comfortable with Jalen Mills being the number 2 option, which I could very well see happening, and that would, and therefore, thrust Patrick Peterson into the third cornerback role, which, in perspective, would kind of put him into that Jason McCourty role that the Patriots had him in for several years. I don't think that that's a terrible spot for Patrick Peterson at all. I think that he would be an absolute elite number 3 cornerback and would play at a much higher rate than Jason McCourty did at that time. Let's also remember that at that time, Jason McCourty was playing as a situational piece who went in not just as cornerback, but also went in as safety. And like I mentioned earlier in this video, that is also a strength of Patrick Peterson, is that he's able to play all over the secondary, not just at outside corner. You'd obviously love for the Patriots to go and sign a much younger, more athletic guy via free agency, but unfortunately, New England is not going to be in the situation that they were a year ago with $50-60 million that they're able to spend on the free agency market. They're going to be very tight against the cap this year, and they're going to have to make some tough decisions, which in return might mean that they're going to have to sign some of these lower budget guys that you're hoping to bring the best out of. Before we end this video off, I do want to give a big shout out to the sponsors of this video and the sponsors of this channel, BetOnline, guys. BetOnline is back. They're better than ever, and they are here for the postseason, guys. No better time to bet than the playoffs, than the Super Bowl. Now is your chance to make some serious and legit money with BetOnline, and they are your number 1 sport for all pro and college football action. With a new updated site and interface and even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the number 1 source for everything football. All you guys have to do is head to their website or even use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 100% welcome bonus, guys. That's double your initial deposit just for signing up. As long as you use that promo code NFL100, guys. Again, that is NFL100. From football to basketball to boxing, even right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Do not wait to take advantage of all of the amazing offers still available for the 2021 season. This is BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts, and BetOnline, the fastest and the easiest ways to bet on all of your favorite sports. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on PFF and Patrick Peterson marriage this offseason? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and go Pats.